Welcome to another Down the Rabbit Hole video, and welcome to the final foursome. Novabug, who I've done many of these video responses for, has decided it's time to maybe set the Friday foursome out to pasture for a while. It may not come back. So this is the final one. This is the last time he's doing one of these, and I've really enjoyed these, and he has enjoyed me doing them. So I'm happy to ride out this particular season, if you will, of the Friday foursome to its end. I'm actually kind of relieved what his question is for the final Friday foursome, because a couple of episodes ago it was your favorite female heroines. Then I thought he was going to be your favorite male heroines, which are heroes, but that didn't end up being the case. It was female villains. And I thought to myself, oh no, the last one he's going to do, because it makes sense as kind of a final hurrah for the series, is what's your favorite video game? And I was a little reluctant to talk about it because I'm sort of holding on to that for for some milestones that I'm hoping are coming. So I was very reluctant to I hope he doesn't ask what our favorite video game is, because I want to keep that for a special thing. But that wasn't the case. For the last one, Chris has asked, what are 4 games that you have not played but should have? And I had to really think about this. I have 4. And there were a few others that almost made the cut, and I thought, well, should I have? I mean, there's a lot of real classics that I have missed out on, and the argument, the list is 4 that you haven't that you really feel like you should have. I don't have a lot in that particular wheelhouse. Like, if I feel like I should play it, I have played it. Or I just passed it by. So this took a little bit of thinking, but I have got my 4, so let's do them. Number 1 is actually a series that I have mentioned before on a previous Friday foursome, and that is Final Fantasy. Now, I kind of intended when I'm at a certain, when I'm old and retired, I was thinking, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play all the Final Fantasy games, because I really I've never played a single one, and they are beloved and really a cornerstone in the video game world that I just feel like, I kind of felt like I missed out on something. Everybody talks about Final Fantasy in one context or another, either the old originals, the kind of 20 years ago Final Fantasy VII era, or even the modern ones. There's a big fan base. And whenever I watch the CGI intros of things from the Final Fantasy series, I keep thinking, man, I don't know what the heck is going on in these videos, but I really feel like I'm missing out. So I had always kind of intended I'm going to play all the Final Fantasy games when I'm retired. I don't know that that's really going to be the case, though, because I'm noticing I'm playing a lot of VR, and that seems to be what I'm playing mostly now. I don't know if I'm going to go back to the retro stuff when I'm retired, but we'll see. So I'll at least, that means it makes the cut. Final Fantasy, the games, all of them, are games I've never played, and I feel like I should have. So that's my first entry. My second entry also appeared in a previous video, and that is Elite. A friend of mine, when I lived in the UK, hello to Glenn, he had a BBC Micro, I think it was, and he played Elite in front of me, and I watched him. I was like, whoa, that looks incredible. And he showed me all the planets you can go to and these other galaxies, and I was just like, wow, for rudimentary wireframe graphics, there's just incredible potential. I kind of have that game now with No Man's Sky, so I've got a version of Elite that is up there. And I've kind of always felt like I should play the modern Elite Dangerous. If they made a VR patch for that, I would play that in a second. Elite is my second entry in what is a game I wish I had played. My third entry is one that I had actually almost forgotten about till I was starting to film, and that is Rise of the Dragon. Now, I had seen this in the early 90s. My roommate had an Apple machine, which they didn't, back in those days, you didn't have a lot of video games being playable on a Mac. One of the ones, though, that he did have was Rise of the Dragon. And I watched him initially going through the paces of point and click adventure, and I thought to myself, this is Blade Runner. as a video game. Like, this looks really awesome. Yes, I'm going to play that game because that looks great. Now, he got thoroughly into it, and he would show me, oh, there's these cool bits, look at this, look at that. And I thought, oh man, when I've got a chance, when he's not using his computer, because I didn't have one at the time, I'm going to play Rise of the Dragon. And then other games came up, other things came along, and I just never got around to it. And it sort of faded into the back, but given I do a lot of Blade Runner stuff, by the way, my next video is Blade Runner related, so stay tuned, I kind of feel like I missed out on an opportunity there. There was a video game that was Blade Runner-ish, and I never played it, and I really feel like I should have. I was almost going to start on it on the Sega CD, because it is ported over to the Sega CD. It takes a real hit in the graphics and color department, and the sound I'm having trouble with. It doesn't work quite right the way I'm playing it. So I may at some time in the future do Rise of the Dragon playthrough on Sega CD, because that is definitely a game that I wish I had played and I never did, and I feel really bad. That's definitely worthy of this list. And my final entry is one that nearly had a companion. I have never played Metroid. I have never played any of the Metroid games. Like, not the NES, Super NES, Game Boy, none of them. I have never played a Metroid game. And everybody is talking about what an amazing series that is, how iconic and influential it has been. That is a series everybody should play, and I just never have. Now, a slight asterisk on that. I did play Metroid Prime 3 Corruption on the Wii, which I loved. That is an awesome game. If you haven't played that on the Wii, please play it. And I really enjoyed it, and I thought, I should probably play more of these. Just never really got round to it, though. It's one of those series that passed me by. And yet it is beloved and a huge influence in the game sphere. Metroid, you get representation of it anytime you go to an event. There's little plushy, Metroid creatures or Samus artwork on the wall. Like, there's a lot of people who love Metroid, the Metroid series. And other than Corruption, which is pretty removed from the side-scrolling classic that Metroid is associated with, I've never really played a proper Metroid game. So those are my four. Now, I almost was going to, instead of Rise of the Dragon, I was actually thinking another big, huge Nintendo franchise that I have never really played is Legend of Zelda. But having said that, I kind of have. I played Twilight Princess on the Wii for a while, really liked it. And I played Link Between Worlds on my 3DS and really liked that. So I was kind of like, but those are late entries. Like, that's like saying, you finally watched Star Trek 6 and you never saw Wrath of Khan or anything. Like, it was like, yeah, okay, they're in the same series, but you didn't play the beginning of the thing. So, and then I remembered, well, I did kind of dabble once with the original Legend of Zelda on a little flashcard. So I kind of thought, okay, no, I'm going to take that one off. But there is no question, I don't get the love that Legend of Zelda has. And I kind of felt like that's something I missed out on. I should have been a part of it. But you know what? I have played it enough. It doesn't really qualify. So Metroid instead, because definitely other than Corruption, never really played that. And I do feel Rise of the Dragon is actually a pretty good entry. Well, there we go. There is my final submission for the Friday Foursome. I'm very sad to see this go. Novabug's had a really good run of these, and I've really, really missed the series. I'm glad it came back this year. Maybe it'll come back in a future year, he says, but I will be sad that we don't have these entries to give, so we'll see what other kinds of lists people come up with, or things, who knows. But there we go. Until next time, we'll see you down the rabbit hole.